Hey, let's talk about games.
Hello my friend and welcome back. Essex Hydra here, and today I'm going to be running through a crafting system overview for you, talking through everything you can do within it. Now, first up, bear in mind that you won't unlock the actual Tech Priest himself until a little way into the campaign. It's going to take you somewhere between 5 and 9 missions, I forget the exact number, but once you see them appear in the bridge you can run up to them and talk to them. Now, first up, you will notice that some of the functions to begin with and some of the tabs will be greyed out. You can go over to the tech tree here and unlock and research via spending credits and fate the ability to do more things with crafting, and this may be crafting multiple items at once, it may be getting more value from salvaging items, it may be the use of advanced materials to optimize your crafting, it may also be the relic fusion feature and the appearance tab, etc., and so forth. So what we're going to go through now is the actual basic features of this system and how they work. So salvage to begin with is very simple. You can do this one of two ways. You can click the item and then click salvage, or you can salvage all by type. So we'll just salvage all of these white items. There we go. It's a bit unusual that they're slightly grey here and yellow here. That's because they used to be yellow over there, but now they've not changed that. And it looks, yeah, yellow is basically the grey stuff. So these are the materials I've got from my salvage. Down here below are all of my materials I have in total. Now, salvaging is of some use. Obviously, if you sell items, you're going to get credits. If you salvage, you're going to get materials. But what you can do is you can find recipes to do some crafting over at the vendor here from Ragnar. Now, you can find them as well during missions. They're not too common, but they appear here and there. Now, over at Ragnar, we see various different green recipes. Keep your eye open for purple ones. Purple ones really do shine that a little bit more because purple ones basically give you some fixed stats and some slightly better stats. Let's go over and have a little look. So if we go to the crafting menu here, we can actually filter by name on the left, or we can just change to a specific weapon that we like the look of, or we can change to the actual rarity. So if we go by all purple, let's see what we can craft here. So we've got a Cathian power sword. Right, so what you have to do to actually craft this item, this basic item, is you right click down here, all of the symbols that match up. Now, this isn't just a game of snap. That's all you have to do to craft the basic item, and then you click craft and then you will be waiting for it to complete. If you level up in the meantime, don't worry, you will get the item at the level you are when you pick it up. So it doesn't matter if you level up a couple of times, by the time you go and pick it up it will be your new level, so it's not too bad. Green items will be instant, purple you will have to wait. However, there are consumables and ways to reduce this crafting time fairly significantly, even to the point of it becoming instant. So, with that in mind, we could click craft here and put this in the queue. However, I do have access to the advanced tab as well. Now, this is where things get a little bit more complicated. If we click on the advanced tab here, this brings up a bunch of other materials. Now, firstly, to understand how they work, we have to actually look at the recipe itself. Now, the recipe itself has 3 different squares here, or 3 different bullet points that this weapon will contain. The benefit of a purple recipe is it will have some fixed things. Greens will always be random, but this one guarantees you will get damage when surrounded and guarantees you will always get somewhere in this region of a bonus to all damage, and the last will be random. So you can see here that 2 of those are listed here and here. Very handy, and this one will be random, of course. So purple recipes can be very helpful when you want to get yourself some targeted loot that you know may work towards the current build that you're running. Now, that's great, but what do we do with advanced materials? Well, if we go over to an advanced material here and find one I can actually craft, you can click on each one and use the refine key in order to make it. Now, if we look for one here, there we go. Now, this also has some description as to what it actually does. So you have to click on it, you can't mouse over, you have to click, and it will tell you what it does. Now, optimizes the random roll value for the attack or defense power rating and based parameters, which is basically stuff like damage, deflect, dodge, damage reduction, etc. All of the sort of the basic stats for it. So if we refine ourselves one of these, now what you'll notice is it doesn't tell you that it has to be placed anywhere in particular. So what you can do is you can drag this and you can see you can place it anywhere. So we could simply drag this and place it there. Now, that's not a very good place to put it, and that will become apparent to you in just a moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually drag it over here for now. and stick it over by the side. Now let me show you why that's not such a great idea. Now, because some of these will work only on the adjacent enchants, and these are the enchants of the item. So if we go over here, what we can see with this item is it optimizes the random roll value for all adjacent enchants. Now what you can see when you drag this, obviously you can therefore only place it adjacent to an enchant. So if I place this here, it means that this and this, whatever they will roll 20% higher, but they will not exceed the total. So it basically means you have a better chance of getting a decent roll from it. So that's a 20% bonus. We could probably put one here as well. However, if we had a purple material that would say give us a 50% bonus, we have a little shop down here. Let's have a little look. Oh, that looks nice. Somewhere there's one. There you go. All adjacent enchants by 50%. So that one we would want to put in the middle because it will apply to all three of these. But if you're not sure where you can put them, all you have to do is drag them and you can see, this is one that only applies to adjacents. And if you drag this one around again, you can see that this one applies to any. So ones that apply to any, shove them out the way. Ones that apply to adjacents, make sure they're touching the right ones, because some will only apply to defense, some will only apply to offense. For example, if we go with this one here, where is it? Power rating on the item. This one is, well, I can't make any to show you, but you guys get the idea. It's fairly complicated, but it allows you to optimize an item how you see fit. And I think that this is going to become even more relevant once we've got some really high level sort of stats and items and crafting materials to really level up our relics and other such items. Now there's no relic recipes at the moment, there are only purples, but this can be a useful feature if you want to guarantee that a weapon has a good amount of damage. You can use this. It's quite expensive in terms of crafting materials though, so it's something to keep an eye out for. Now for the modify tab, what we're going to do is we're going to unequip our weapon here so we can actually do some modification. We've got 44,000 credits, so we're going to go over here, and bearing in mind I've unlocked the modify via the tech tree, so we're going to go over to modify and we're going to drag our weapon in. By the way, if you want to take it out, right click it. Don't drag and drop it again, right click. If you try and drag and drop, it won't do anything. So drag it in, leave it there. You can even click on the weapon as well to bring up the abilities, which I would suggest doing because they will become relevant. So you can see here what this weapon does, and it's actually got some quite nice strikes and options for it. So we've got 27% cooldown for the Voltaic strike. So guys, from here, what we could do is we could change, let's say, HP on kill. So all you have to do is click this. There we go, extra damage against bleeding enemies. Now this doesn't have any bleeds on it, you can hover over to check, so we could re-roll that again. Now what you'll be noticing is it gets more expensive each time. This isn't a crafting system where you can sit here for days re-rolling and re-rolling and re-rolling and re-rolling an item until it's perfect. This is a case of taking an item that's not quite what you want and making it better. So it's not going to be comparable to some systems within games where you can pretty much dump enough materials to make it perfect. This is going to be a case of, okay, I've got the stats I want on this. That one's not quite perfect, but I've re-rolled it a couple times and that'll have to do. So a bit different to the traditional crafting systems of some games, but quite useful. And I believe you can make most of these functions cheaper as well via the tech tree, via some of these specific techs. So it's something to keep an eye out for if you want to be a little bit more of a crafting junkie. As a little side note as well, when placing advanced materials in, you will also notice that the timer tends to go up and it can end up pretty damn long. So this may be one of those sort of do before you go to bed moments, or it may be a case of do it at the start of a session, because remember, when you pick it up later, you're going to be the appropriate level. Now the fusion tab is going to be difficult to explain to you because I only have one relic on me. Let me just have a double check. Yes, I do indeed. What we would do is we would drag other relics into here. This is not a relic, so it will not work. And what you will see, and I've already done a separate guide on this, is it will increase this force overload, and your aim is to get it to 100, in which case you apply the fusion button, you click it, and what that will do is increase the power rating of the weapon and give it some more stats. Not a huge amount of stats, it has to be said, but it will give it more. And this is basically what we're going to be up to for the few weeks while we're waiting for that Warzone to open up, is we're going to be getting our relic items ready, getting ourselves to a point where we're actually capable of taking on this content, and you can get a pretty old big boost. You can boost a relic item from 80 up to 120 for a single-handed, and obviously it's double that for melee weapons as such. So some very, very sort of powerful weapons can come from doing this, and again they will get some more stats as you go. This is pretty much everything to do with the appearance tab. You'll also remember we've done a video separate on the painting customization for items to show you what can be done in terms of visual customization at the moment. Obviously we're waiting for new skins, and we pray to the Omnissiah that we will get some more, and that Games Workshop will release a few more Primaris skins or something of the sorts to give us a little bit more flexibility. Guys, you take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow, day before launch tomorrow. Good lord, it's come around quick, hasn't it? Take care, guys. All the best.